The Critshow contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Critshow, where we are playing the Clock Winders. Last time, our heroes did a little bit of research into the motives of the salamanders, a little bit of research into... You're narrowing your eyes at me, Rev. What's...
I was just going to ask you to move that microphone just a little closer to you.
I can feel the hairs on my chinny chin getting stuck in the microphone
That's
cover.
what you want.
That's not what I want.
That's what it's designed for.
This is all in. This all stays.
Oh, perfect.
Let me get that single chin hair on my microphone. Where is it?
There it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
good.
no. Oh no, I'm stuck.
Oh, it's caught.
Oh no,
Oh,
it's like Velcro.
It's like Velcro. Velcro's a brand name. We can't say that.
Oh, it's like looping hooks or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck it is.
Yeah, it's like hook and loop
like Dippin'
attachment
Dots.
system.
You're dipping dots in there?
Hopefully this has been a noticeable improvement. Last time, our heroes learned some stuff about salamanders and their operations. They learned some stuff about the towns and their hierarchies, people who are displeased. They did some investigation into the home of the missing children and found that things don't seem quite aright. And in pursuing one of the particularly vocal, upset townsfolk, they found that it seems that he has already gathered a mob who is already making their way to the forges. And that is where we left off, and that is where we will pick back up. You are all in the tavern of Geth, having just found that Radigan is already reporting to the forges with some folk, torches and pitchforks in hand. What do y'all want to do?
I'm sorry. My mind just got back to what's happening because I stopped after salamanders and their operations, and all I've been picturing are like a bunch of these elementals in like the NASA ready room, you know, at the computers and like a war room off to the side.
Yeah, they've got a monitor bank.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm still imagining them as lizards.
Yeah, oh, sure. Same.
Okay, so there's a bunch of lizards with a monitor wall observing the town.
As the town with pitchforks makes their way towards
I want to
them.
make like a lizard people in control of the government joke here, but it's too funny that I can't put it together.
Yes.
I'm going to have to work real hard to remember that this isn't canon.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
What?
Are
No,
you?
I'm on
Whoa.
airplane mode.
Was
I'm
it your
on...
watch? Does your watch make noise?
No, I put my watch on Do Not Disturb.
2
Taylor sent me a
weeks
chat. I'm
in
so
a
sorry.
row.
She got a smartwatch now, and it keeps lighting up in the middle of the night.
Oh, no.
She'll like roll over, and if you turn your wrist just a
I'm
certain way,
so
it's just like
Sorry that my watch light is keeping you awake while you're on Reddit on your phone when you're supposed to be going to bed.
it's after that.
You sleep with your watch on?
Yeah, it
Do
tracks my
people-
sleep.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah,
a Fitbit.
like a smartwatch. So
I
you can see like
see.
how your sleep is.
Oh, interesting.
But also, I think
Spoiler,
people who wear
not
just
good.
normal watches sometimes sleep with their watches on too.
Oh, that.
Oh.
Because people shower with their watches on and shit.
Oh my
like that's
God.
bananas to me.
We start following the townspeople.
Tass,
Yeah.
I need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
Because we're all in a mood today. As Einon,
Oh, do I need to put on?
tell us what you have just learned.
Do I need to
that
put
way-
on my Einon pants?
Yes, that way Megan and I can...
Put them on over your Tass pants, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, I believe that in character you are all present and this person just like chimed in. So you guys probably in character know this, but Einon presenting the information can still get us back on the right fucking track.
Come on, Tass. Time's a-wastin'.
Well, shit! We should almost certainly try to head this off, shouldn't we?
How many people went with him?
Oh, hell, I don't know. A handful from each of the 3 villages, as far as I know. Maybe a dozen, give or take.
I don't know precisely enough about the numbers of the salamanders, but I feel like this is going to end up being a slaughter, and I don't know which way it'll go. Either way, not in our best interest. Or theirs.
Kade is just kind of stunned for a second. I don't, like, what do we do? Like, we need to get to the core, but, oh God. Yeah, what do we do?
I turn to this person. Did they ride? Do they have horses or anything, or did they march off?
Oh, I'd have to guess that they went on foot. It's not easily traversable by a quadruped.
Good to know. I think the 3 of us can make haste. We might be able to intercept them.
But we don't have any proof yet. If there's that many of them, they're going to be all fired up and ready to fight all the salamanders, but without anything concrete, how are we going to convince them to stop?
I don't know, but we can't just let them go into battle, likely die themselves, and if they're lucky, slaughter all these salamanders that are also almost certainly innocent.
Yeah, I run out to the door and let out like a long pealing whistle to call Smee.
All right. Yeah, you hear a growing tick, 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 as it comes running across the cobblestone bridge. It answers the troll's riddle very quickly. Smee just like, before the troll can say anything, Smee's like, and the troll's like, I've never heard anything so beautiful in my life.
Smee does the secret handshake with the troll.
Yeah, I'm gonna start jogging that way.
Okay. So the forges are a bit of a hike away from the town still. They are on the night side of the river, and the towns do just like give way back into the wilds that you will have to traverse before reaching the forges. I think like with your map and with what you've learned, directionally, this isn't going to be a struggle. Like, you know where you are going. It does not have a clean path anymore because it has long been abandoned, but there are the remnants of a path. So you start following that path. It's just a little bit more treacherous, a little bit more overgrown than you might hope. What is your objective here? Are you just going to follow this same path that presumably the mob is following? Are you trying to come up behind them? Are you trying to take an alternate route and like head them off at the pass? What are you going for? I think that's going to inform what you have to roll here.
Yeah, I think I'm following the same path at first with the idea of like finding anything at all that might indicate that a large group has come this way recently. Disturbed gravel, anything. And if so, stay on that path. I think Einon's mumbling the whole way. Certainly just a few of us at a fast pace can catch up to the slow march of an indignant mob. And with that hope of just catching up.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely just deferring to Einon. Like, he's the tracker. This is his world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, immediately upon reaching this path, you do find, like, yes, there is evidence of a large group of people making their way through here.
Discarded candy wrappers and the like.
Of course, yeah. Lunabar wrappers.
Lunabar, but it's sponsored by old boy's wife.
Lunette bars.
Damn it.
Lunette bars.
Loona, Luna bars. I think you notice that, like, additionally, while looking at these tracks, some of them are, like, lighter than others. Like, you can tell that this is a coalition of people from these 3 livelihoods. You can tell the footprints of, like, the hunters and the trappers from the footprints of the farmers, from the footprints of the fishermen, etc.
In that case, I'm definitely trying to speed us up. I want to get there before some encounter erupts between the 2.
Okay. I think that I'm going to have each of you roll something then. I think you all have the option. I will give you athletics or physique. You can pick for yourself.
Okay.
Overcome with either athletics or physique. I don't think this is going to be super hard to beat. As Einon suggested, like, it is kind of the march of a big group of people. It's inevitably slower. So you're just trying to beat a 2.
Okay. 3.
Would you say this is trying to overcome a physical obstacle while I'm utilizing Smee?
Oh, yeah.
2.
Nice.
Okay.
0.
Oof.
Could I spend a fate point to make sure Maxine doesn't fall behind? Because I've always got her back.
Sure. So that will get Maxine to a tie like you.
Okay.
Just a rope tied to my wrist that's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, stay on track.
So Maxine and Kade, you get what you want, but at a minor cost. I think we're going to go with just 1 physical stress. I don't want to give you exhausted the condition because that's a two-hander, but that's along the lines. Like you're having to work extra hard to traverse this terrain that you can see Einon is not really struggling with. He is kind of advancing ahead of you with relative ease.
Okay.
But over the course of the next 40 minutes or so, you do finally catch up to the rest of this group. And you can see, as you lay eyes on them in the distance, indeed they are moving a little bit slow, but you can hear like the rabble from them before you even get eyes on them. You can just hear this kind of frustrated, angry air to their conversation in the distance. But as soon as you get eyes on them, Einon, you notice that somebody that they have bringing up the rear, again, it seems like one of the more experienced trapper hunters, because they get eyes on you as well. They know you're coming. And they let out like a whistle, and the rest of the party kind of hesitates and halts, like trying to figure out why they're calling out.
I yell out, "Hail there, people of the Triple Town! My name is Einon Kerning of the Clockwinders."
Ooh, there's a little like whisper that you hear go through the crowd. Oh, Clockwinders, Clockwinders, Clockwinders.
Maxine comes like puffing up and just like out of breath, and she's like,
You gotta stop the salamanders. There's not the kids. Oh, I can't breathe.
She collapses.
Tell him it's me.
and I'm like patting the side, and then I just sit on a rock.
Smee is gesturing, impassioned.
Yeah, what he said. The salamanders aren't the ones that took the kids.
Oh, yeah, right. I say, is there a Ratigan here?
As you're saying that, you see that the crowd is kind of parting. One individual is pushing their way from the front towards the back. And you see a particularly grizzled older gentleman step through. He's got like long, lank, gray hair. One of his eyes is kind of like scarred in a more open position. It looks a little bit cloudy, like maybe he's been blinded in that eye. He's got a bit of a stoop to him, but he still walks like very determined, very sure-footed. And he is carrying just a honest-to-God pitchfork, just a straight-up pitchfork. And he kind of looks you up and down and growls. Why do you say that the salamanders aren't who we're looking for? Who else done took those kids?
That is precisely what we're trying to figure out, but the evidence, well, it's bloody evidence that it wasn't salamanders that took those kids, and we aren't sure who is behind it, or even if someone here is behind it. I'm not one to point fingers, but I am one to stop needless death.
Yeah, the fire trail of the salamander at their house starts at the window and then leads a little bit away and then fades into nothing. That's not how fire works.
And there's no kid footprints. And you're all trackers and hunters, and you know how footprints work. So you get it.
Yeah, there were no markings left by the kids, though we did see signs of ads.
Another figure pushes their way forward, or, well, towards the back of the group, but towards where all of you are. It's Doris. It's the mother of the children, who is with this party. And she says, "But what else would have caused the fire? You said that the fire trail, it is outside the window. I have seen it. You have seen it. What was it?"
It could be any different kind of magic.
Or just, regular fire.
But why? If our town is at odds with these fire creatures, doesn't it make the most sense that it would be them? Why would it be something else?
It makes sense to point fingers at something when there's value in those forges. And it doesn't make sense to go and slaughter innocent creatures just to go down and get what you want. I think someone has done this on purpose. Someone is using you all, using your fury at the situation to go and do this job for them so that the way is clear.
All right, so it sounds to me like you are all trying to, convince this mob to chill the fuck out. And you are all contributing in that endeavor. So I think this is going to be a teamwork action. Who has the highest rapport?
I have none, so...
I have a +4.
That'll make it Maxine. I've got a +3.
Okay, so everybody who has a +1 or higher adds 1 to the highest person's. So Maxine, why don't you roll to overcome with rapport? You have a +5 to that roll with the assistance of Einon. And I think what you're trying to beat here is a 4. Because these people are they're bloodthirsty. They were out here with their purpose. But also don't forget that you have some situation aspects They have reverence for the Clockwinders of old, so you've got some
Great.
stuff you could utilize.
Okay, let's see what happens. So that's a 4.
Okay.
Is that with your +5?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, sure is. I would love to invoke reverence for Clockwinders of old. Did I have any free invokes on that? I don't have that written down.
No. That was not one that you created or revealed and got free invokes on. It's just one that is true of the place.
Ooh, can I use one of the free invokes on the clues don't add up?
Sure.
Cool, let's do that.
Yeah, mark off that free invoke. So that will bump you up to a 6, which is a success. So you see Radigan take a moment, sizing you all up, and then relaxes his grip on that pitchfork, kind of sticks it down in the underbrush, and most of the other people in the mob do the same. Doris seems kind of distraught by this. The lack of forward momentum seems to be distressing her.
Aside from that, which I understand that reaction, she's the mother. Is there anyone else? I'm trying to keep an eye on the crowd, on the murmuring as we're saying all this. And does anyone else seem worried, called out, indignant in a way that's
Foiled.
different? Yeah, foiled. I mean, for real.
Does anybody look foiled?
Is anyone doing the swipe or no swiping? Oh man.
Yeah, somebody's just doing a big aw shucks shrug in the back.
Yeah.
Is anyone Skeletor shaking their fist at the sky?
I almost had them, you boob. I would love to notice if anyone's doing that.
I think I was verifying that I think this is a fair application of notice.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll with notice. This is actually going to be a contest against an unknown opponent. So you roll your notice. I'm going to roll against you. We'll see who has the higher result.
Okay.
You notice one of them is a salamander.
And a fake beard that's singed.
He's got townsfolk clothes on that are just smoldering.
All right, here we go.
How could you have seen through my townsfolk disguise?
That is a 5 from me.
Okay. You're trying to size up this group. You're like, all right, I get Doris's reaction. She's the mother. That makes sense. But is anybody else in here? Wait a second. I don't get Doris's reaction.
Oh.
It seems off. Not disproportionate necessarily. It's very refined. But you get the impression that she is upset that this mob is not continuing, but it's not the bereaved mother type of upset that you thought it was for a moment.
Interesting. I want to make my way forward and come up to her and just offer to take her hand.
She takes your hand and tears are kind of welling up in her eyes.
You know who we are, what we're meant to do here, or at least you think you do. Most people would say, fix the cause, or some iteration of that. But really, what we're here to do is help. We're here for you. Where are the children, darling?
The tears start spilling down her face, and she's kind of shaking her head in distress. I don't know. I'm telling you, I feel I can feel in my heart that the salamanders have taken them. It feels like we're on the right path. This is where we need to be going. I understand what you're saying. It makes sense, all of you, but I have not seen them, and please, I feel that they're in the forges. Please.
I genuinely don't know if you're play acting, or if this is what you actually feel, if something is driving you to believe this.
Einon, what are you talking about?
It doesn't add up, and you know that it doesn't. They know that it doesn't. As soon as it's spoken out loud, everyone here understands. Salamanders don't steal things away, not people. There would be no chance. That would make no sense. So what has happened? You can tell us. It's all right. We will not be upset with you. We just need to make sure that they're all right. And we need to stop this nonsense. People will die.
Her teary eyes are gazing into yours, and you hear a bit of a crack of the foliage ahead further down the path. And you guys see Vaughn come back this direction, and he kind of comes through some of the brush and then stops all of a sudden, whoa, what's going on?
What's going on with you?
I scouted ahead. I'm just a little bit quicker than the group is altogether. I picked up tracks. It looked like the kids' footprints heading into the forge.
Their footprints alone?
No, like a scorched tail track or something, and a couple sets of kids' footprints. It didn't look like I don't know, it was hard to pick up if there were any drag marks in the heels or the toes or anything. I'm not sure if they were being forced along or coaxed into it, but they're in there. And Doris, like, kind of lights up a little bit, like, excited. But again, I think Einon, like, keeping eyes on her and, like, having this idea of her reactions, she is, like, genuinely excited, but it's not, like, the hope of finding her children that you might have misread it as before.
I look over my shoulder at the other two with me the same way that I look right now, which is in utter confusion, bafflement, and disbelief at this person. And I give them a little, like, shake of my head. Vaughn, is there anything odd at all about those tracks? Is it a very long stretch of burn? Were there just bits of it here and there? Did it stop or start somewhere?
He says, I mean, it does kind of pick back up on, like, the north side of the woods before it heads into the forges. I don't know if they can turn off their burning or something, but that's almost what it seems like. I can show you. You're pretty quick on your feet out here, right?
Yes, I think we should all go and take a look. How recent? How fresh? How warm, man? Speak!
He like stands upright. Yes, sir. Fairly recent. If I was going to estimate, I'd say sometime within the last 3 hours. There is still a little bit of warmth to it. It's not scalding, but it's noticeable.
And they were taken a day ago. It's just convenient that there's a bit of warm track recent right before that this group is meant to come this way and find it.
He shrugs. I don't know, sir. I'm a hunter, not a detective.
That was sort of to the entire group, Vaughn. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, listen, I understand that you're all very concerned and very worried. Why don't you let us, and I point to the four of us, let us go ahead and see if we can't sneak past. I've heard the stories about the salamander setting up a nest in the visitor hall of the forges. They have a whole ambush system ready for people that just try to make their way in, and it's really dangerous. But the clockwinders going into the places where the movement cores live, that's our job. That's our specialty. And so we may have a better chance of sneaking in and finding the children if they're in there than a big mob of people with pitchforks.
Most of the people in the group kind of look to Radigan to see how he receives this news. A couple of them look to Doris to see how she responds. And she says, "Please, may I at least come with you? If they are in there, I want to be the one. I want to find them. I want to be able to hold my babies again. I want to ensure that they get to safety."
Knowing that Einon feels off about this lady, I'd like to tell you something, Jake.
Okay.
I notice what's out of place.
Yeah, it is out of place. Anyway, moving on.
How does this truth work in this moment?
I mean, it is true. I'm trying to think of how, like, you are aware that something is off.
Yeah.
Much like Einon is.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
But I notice what is out of place. Not just that something is out of place. But I notice the thing that's wrong.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Look, if you talk long enough, I'll believe anything.
I know that's not true.
I'll say anything that gets you to stop talking.
Like, what I'm thinking is like, hey, is there some ether coming off of this lady? Is there some, like, stuff that we, like, encountered with the witch or with the fae that we've encountered? Like, is there something on this human woman that shouldn't be there?
Like, is this a supernatural element, or, like, is she just a very suspicious person?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that what you can notice here,
Yeah.
the what that is out of place, as you're watching her throughout these interactions, like, she's fidgeting, you know, she's like putting her hands on her face, she's like playing with her hair and stuff. But the more she seems to be losing ground in this, you see her hands kind of like fidgeting and twitching in a way that is reminiscent of ethercraft to you. Like the types of gestures you were seeing on Sevna when she was deploying her abilities. And it's not like, you know, nothing's lighting up, nothing's coming off of her hands. They're kind of like tracing those gestures vaguely, as if like, in a moment, I might need this.
Yeah. Because Einon kind of moved forward in front of the group, and Maxine and I were on Smee to Maxine. Hey, I think this lady's doing magic. Look at her hands. I think she's doing magic. Hey, Maxine, we gotta figure this out.
Oh,
She's doing magic.
she's doing it. Very, very quietly and subtly.
Einon, be careful.
Einon, bow and arrow. Einon, bow and arrow now. Again, can't stress how subtly I'm doing this.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I think they turn and everyone is staring at Kade.
I'm like backing away to side with the mob.
Cade's like, I didn't even make most of those sounds.
It's me.
Something spoke through
I'm
me.
being puppeted.
The voice of a god spoke through me.
Ow! Oh no!
Oh my god.
Ooh.
You respond in kind.
And just runs away.
Everybody just turns into cavemen all of a sudden.
Don't mind my friends, everyone. They speak to each other in whale song.
Ow! I don't know why, but like it hurts. Oh no! Ooh.
Don't listen, everyone. There's just forest whales out and about.
Magic? I don't see any green light in her eyes.
Yeah, I know, but it's like she's prepping a spell, or like she's ready to do it.
Oh, what do we do?
I don't know. That's why I thought I just do the machines. I thought you would know.
Do I know anything about, as far as ethercraft, if, finger movements are like the precursor to casting a spell, or if it is there a way to interrupt it?
I don't think I need you to roll, at least for like a base level of that. From what you saw with Sevna, the particular effect she was utilizing required eye contact and language. When she was defending against some of your attacks, it required gestures and language. It seems like there are like components to the use of ether. They seem to kind of vary depending on what the desired effect is.
I'll slide off Smee's back and go up to her and like...
I don't know why I wasn't picturing you also being astride Smee.
Why were you so out of breath?
I also didn't think of it that way until Rev said it. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So I guess the reason you guys were tired is just from how bumpy of a ride it was.
It's like riding a bucking bronco.
Yeah.
He could only carry us for a short amount of time, so then I had to get off and run and catch up and then get a little bit of a break. But yeah, I'll go over to her and like grab her hands and like hold them in mine to like stop her from moving them around, and like look at her and just be like,
Yeah, of course you can come with us. Your kids are going to want to see you, but we're just going to have to be careful that if we do find them, they don't get overly excited and try to run to you and like set off any traps, because, then they might get stuck somewhere or impaled or, set on fire.
God.
I think I'm going to have you make a deceive roll here, because you're bullshitting her. And again, I think this is going to be a contest.
4.
Nice.
Okay, that will be a tie. Do you want to leave it so?
Yeah, I'd love to spend a fate point to boost this up. I'm thinking of invoking Leave It to the Professionals. Just kind of like convincing this crowd that like, hey, this is something we should handle.
Okay, I am also going to spend a fate point then to invoke one of Doris's aspects, which is forceful. I'm thinking of it like stubborn, single-minded, not likely to be bowled over by your rhetoric.
Can I spend a point to help with I should have been there, but next time I will be? I think the idea being that I'm nodding along with Maxine. Yes, I do think you should come along. Matter of fact, I think we should discuss a general plan here and something for the rest of the people here to do. I have some ideas, but it would be better in one way or another for us to all confer and be on the same page before we make any other moves.
So Doris wipes the tears from her eyes, kind of frowning uncomfortably, but she nods. Okay, I will go in with you all, and we can come up with a game plan first, and we can leave the others here.
Ratigan, may I have a word with you, with my associates?
He just kind of grunts in the affirmative, but he steps aside to join you.
Yeah, I kind of just lead him away from the group. At least I know Kade is still off to the side, so I'll lead him over there. Whether Maxine comes or stays with Doris is obviously up to you.
I'll stay with Doris. I think we need to keep an eye on her.
Okay. This isn't adding up. She's lying. She is not concerned about her children. She's concerned about the progress that we're making towards the forges. She's not even worried about their safety, which means that her studious, intelligent, and obedient children are very likely the ones that are doing this. They're working with her. There is something in there that she's willing to put her children in a mild amount of danger and all of you in a great deal of danger to either attain, acquire, or achieve.
The forges should hold no shortage of valuables. Treasure hunters go in them from time to time. You got any idea what in particular she's looking for?
Absolutely no idea.
Why you think she's lying anyway? You're the one who said something about maybe she'd been snowed herself or whatnot. You sure it's malicious?
Malicious, I am not certain about. I think it's more laissez-faire as to your end in all of this. Whatever it is, she wants it. She doesn't so much care what happens to all of you. If you were to go in and storm the place and win, all the better for her.
How's your poker face?
My face is always just kind of like this.
Maxine, our friend who went over and talked to her, she interceded because we noticed she was getting ready to cast a spell.
Oh, really? Oh, I missed that.
So you think she's an ether user?
Yeah, at least her.
What you mean, at least her? Think them kids, too?
Could be.
Is there anyone else a part of this group that's particularly close with her?
He, subtly turns to survey the crowd and see who's present, and he grunts in the negative. Don't think so.
All right, which means I should either be trusting your judgment and she's working alone, or it's you, in which case I've made a grievous error in pulling you aside.
He does a grunt that's a bit of a chuckle. Don't see why I would have played my cards this way were that the case.
I agree entirely. Here's what I suggest. We play along with this little charade that Maxine has set up. The lot of you spread out. Don't go into the forges, but look around them. See if you can find the children or more sign of where they might be hiding, while we take her in, try to get to the core of what she's actually there to do. That way all of you are out of harm of whatever magic she's ready to impose. We're on to her, and hopefully she isn't quite aware of that. Unless part of her magic is to hear very well, in which case pulling you aside was a grievous error.
A lot of those going around.
We just turn around and she's just staring daggers at us.
He grunts and nods again. Reckon we could do that. Not everybody here is much of a tracker, though. Some of these folks are here for a fight. Wasn't even confident they was going to be particularly good at that.
Well, they may get their wish. I'm certain that the salamanders will range out a bit, which does put you all in a fair bit of danger. I would advise that you split up in a way that any of the groups that spread out have a little bit of everything as far as what someone can help with.
He gives you a nod. Is there anything else you guys want to share with Ratigan?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he lumbers back over to the rest of the group. You can see that Maxine and Doris are still, holding hands and talking quietly.
And sometimes you don't really know what you're going to come across. So there might be dangers that we don't even know until much later. Effects on our health that could show up and affect us even years afterwards.
Oh, I hope that none of these adversities have fallen upon my babies.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe keep an eye out, start a journal or something that you can track symptoms just in case.
Yes, but first we must find them. We must bring them home safe.
I assure you we will. All right, everyone. Ratigan here is in agreement of how this should go. He'll help split you all into teams. The best of your trackers, mixed with those that can fight, and would help any of you that know the area particularly well. The Clockwinders will go in with Doris in search of the children, while you spread out. Look for any easily accessible entries and exits from the forges in general. Keep the salamanders at bay as best you can if they come out and around, and if you see any other sign of movement, do your best to let us know. Ratigan will give you the more specific details, and I wish you all luck.
Let's go fix a movement core. Save these children.
Yes.
There is a murmur of assent throughout this crowd, and a little bit of a tinge of reverence to it. People sound kind of impressed and dedicated is the word I want to say. Inspired That's probably a better word. And they start kind of breaking off into small groups. Radigan is doing a little bit of steering them. Doris hugs close to you. And Vaughn actually comes up to you, Einon, and says, "Sir, if it's okay with you, I'd really like to accompany you inside as well. It sounds like it could be awfully dangerous." And he kind of looks at Maxine and Kade. "No offense intended, but I think that maybe you could use another capable fighter in there."
I slap him on the back. "We'd be happy to have you, my boy."
"Thank you, sir. I won't let you down."
"I wouldn't for a moment believe that you would."
Can I get the vibe on Vaughn? Like, I'm a little suspicious of him being so sure that these tracks are a salamander taking the kids into the forges, because, like, we were able to determine that that wasn't what we were seeing, and he's supposed to be, like, a good tracker. So either he's really bad at his job or he's in on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think you can make an empathy roll, since you are trying to suss out, like, him in particular by reading him. This is, again, going to be a contest.
Great. I'd love to use my stunt, takes one to know one. As an accomplished liar, you're especially able to figure out when someone else is lying as well. You may use deceive instead of empathy against deceive actions.
Okay.
Is this a deceive action from him? That will let us know if you can use the stunt.
Yes. Yes, this will be a deceive action from him.
I don't like it. They're both making the exact same face.
0.
Vaughn got a -3.
Oh, God.
Boy, I rolled a -3.
All right, so as you are trying to get the read on Vaughn while he is sucking up to Einon, Vaughn's full of shit. You can absolutely tell that, like, Vaughn is putting himself where he wants to be. He is supporting Doris in whatever falsehood she seems to be spinning here. Like, he is providing supporting evidence. You can tell that they are in cahoots, and if the rest of the mob's not going into that cave, they want it to just be them and you guys. And I think that is where we will leave it off this time around.
Damn it.
What?
No. Get back here.
He just insulted our abilities to fight, and now he wants to go into the cave alone with us. Vaughn's a dick.
Bring him back out.
Next time.
I'm not done with him.
Next time, baby. Thank you.
Get out of here, Vaughn.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of The Critshow. We're playing the Clockwinders. If you'd like more information on the game system, the Fate RPG, or the setting of the Clockwinders, you can find that information in the episode notes. If you would like to engage with any of the other content that we make, you should check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thecritshow. We've got tiers starting at $1. We've got a $5 tier with additional bonus content on a regular basis. Lots of stuff there and lots of backlog worth catching up on. And thank you once more for joining us. Tune in next time for more adventures of the Clockwinders, who are now going to tell you in their character voices goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Perfect.
Fuck are you guys?
Where did my team go?
The Crit Show is a Critshow Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritshow.